they married, let's say, 4 years ago. It was last 2 years that they separated. And once they separated, currently, the man is still not married, but the woman has gotten a different person who she's now staying with. So for me, I want to ask, if the man is not having the means and is staying with the parents, maybe the parents are well-to-do, and he thinks he's ready to marry, the clause or the question that you are saying, that is it you're saying the man will leave the father and the mother, but there are some cases, marriages are existing whereby the man is staying with the father or mother, or the woman is staying with the father or mother, but they are married. So my question is, if something of this sort happens and divorce sets in, is it the fault of the parent or that of the man or the woman?
This question you are asking, I will put it in the same category as the way they were asking Jesus the question, in that God has already said what he wants to happen, but man is still asking further questions, meaning man is not satisfied with what God has said. Let's be honest about it. That's the issue. Like God has said it. He said, therefore, a man shall leave his mother and his father. The end shall become one flesh with his wife. So the moment we are asking, so if the man, because of money, is not ready to rent a place because he's starting life, right? And so he's living with his father and his mother. Then I'll ask you again, what did Jesus say? It's not about my interpretation and what I think. He has said how God made it. And after Adam and all the way down to what? Jesus' time, man has practiced something and gone so far away that they are asking God a question. God is Jesus. God in the flesh is Jesus. They are asking God the question again. After God has told you what he wants, you are asking God the question again. Can I leave my wife if she does anything bad that I don't like? Or can I leave my husband if he does anything bad that I don't like? So the way Jesus speaks is he goes and repeats what God said. And that's what a prophet does. He just has to tell you what God has said. So if God has said that when a man is to be joined with his wife, the vision of being joined to his wife will never be accomplished if he stays joined to his father and mother. He said it indirectly by saying he made them male and female, not male, female, and mama, or male, female, and papa. Male, female, and then says to them, you are to leave your father and your mother and become one flesh. If we practice anything else, is it any wonder that we are not able to develop a strong bond, and for that reason divorce will easily come in? Well, for what reason should this woman, if the man has not, say, committed adultery or something, just get up and leave because of conflict with the mother-in-law or the father-in-law? For it doesn't even make sense that she will leave her marriage because of that. But that is because it doesn't make sense, but it is consistent with what happens when you break God's ordinance. Because God said, He has declared on Henena Kasa, here on this earth, when a president gives a declaration during Corona season and says there is lockdown, you observe and you respect. Even when you question it and you don't fully understand it, you observe it. How much more should we revere when God says, and stop arguing about it? So, when you establish that as the foundation, that is what God has said, the next issue becomes, why do you want to get married and take a woman into your father's house? Like, what's the reason? Oh, because you are starting life. So why are you then getting married? Start your life well and get that part sorted out before you take somebody's daughter out of her father's and mother's house. Why are you taking her from her father's and mother's house to bring her into your father's and mother's house? You are supposed to take her out of her father's and mother's house, and then you take yourself out of your father and mother's house, and then the two of you become one flesh. But you want to take her from her comfort, bring her into this shack of a house. For her to manage, knowing very well that the way your mother has brought you up, are they fancies?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't want to sound tribalistic because I'm not tribalistic. But the fact is that if you take every tribe in Ghana, you can tell a little bit of their disposition and the behavior of the in-laws and the kind of expectations that they have. Just like when you go to other cultures, every culture has a natural traditional disposition as to expectations and how they behave when it comes to marriage. But from my observation, when it comes to Fanti mothers, if you are not careful and you are a man, you are a son, and you bring your wife into your mother's home or your father's home, and the mother is there is competition. Because the mothers, more or less, the reason of the competition is that the mothers have raised their sons, and the sons, especially when it comes to the area of itzban, food, right? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So the way the son has become accustomed to mommy's food, then you go and bring this lady, you just married her. Your mother didn't learn to cook that excellently overnight. You see the thing we say about process. You admire the way your mom cooks, but you didn't see how it was when your father married her. You've never asked your father how it was. And then you've never gone to ask your mother's mother how she used to be before she learned to cook so well, so that you appreciate that your wife too can learn to cook very well. Look at all this problem. God says, I want you to avoid this. So if you go and marry, just live there. But when you live there, the living is not just physically. Somebody has left physically and he still goes to mommy to cook for him so that he puts it in his fridge. It's a weakness that will affect a man who wants to get married. And I think that in some cases, because of the way the Lord loves certain people and is jealous over them, if the woman you want to marry as a man is one of those people that the Lord is jealous over, and the Lord wouldn't want her to experience certain issues with your mother, then the Lord will not give you marriage. He will delay your marriage. Then you have made marriage a prayer point and it's not coming and you don't understand why.